Namaste, my witchlings. Hello, hello, hello. Welcome. I am Di the Yoga Witch, and welcome back to Bitchin Witch, where sometimes the broomstick is a microphone, sometimes it's a battering ram, and, well, occasionally it is both. Today's episode is called Support the Troops Until They Need Something. And, yeah, we're probably going to make some people uncomfortable today. Good. Because sometimes discomfort is the first step toward asking better questions. Now, before we dive into today's main topic, I do want to spend a few minutes talking about a couple of stories that have been kind of making the headlines this week. At first glance, I'll tell you, they do not seem connected. One involves social media influencers. The other involves the Pentagon. But to me, they're both asking the same question. How do we treat people once they're no longer politically useful? And, well, let's start with the story everybody seems to be talking about right now. That would be the Tate brothers. Whew, that is something to talk about, too. All right, so the Tate brothers. Earlier this week, Andrew and Tristan Tate were once again arrested in Florida on a United Kingdom extradition warrant. The brothers continue to deny the allegations against them, and like anyone else, they're entitled to due process in court. What caught my attention, though, wasn't just the arrest. It was the conversation surrounding it. Now, for years, the Tate brothers have publicly portrayed themselves as being connected to people within Donald Trump's political circle. They have spoken openly about friendships with members of the Trump family and have built part of their public image around those claimed relationships. Now, whether every one of those claims is true isn't the point. What matters is that they wanted people to believe they had that access. Influence was part of the brand. Power was part of the brand. Being close to powerful people was part of the brand. And now that legal trouble has intensified, everybody seems to be asking a different question. Who's standing behind them now, or beside them now? It's rather fascinating to watch, I tell you what. Because, well, over and over and over in politics, we see this same shit. People are embraced while they're useful, while, they energize the voter base, while they attract attention and drive engagement. But as soon as they become a liability, suddenly everybody develops amnesia. Now, to be abundantly clear, I am not saying anyone should stand by someone accused of serious crimes simply because they once knew them. Quite the opposite, to be honest. Accountability matters. What I am more interested in is something far broader. The speed with which public loyalty evaporates once someone stops being publicly or politically advantageous. And that kind of got me thinking. Maybe this isn't unique to politics. Maybe we have a habit of valuing people for what they can do for us instead of valuing them because they're people. Which brings me into our second topic of the evening. This one involves Pentagon finances. Let me throw lipstick on here real quick. I feel naked without it. There we go. Now I look like myself. Now let's talk Pentagon finances. According to some reporting this week, the Pentagon is warning that funding tied to operations involving Iran is running short. Officials are raising concerns that training, maintenance, and overall military readiness could be affected if Congress doesn't approve additional funding. Now, I know budgets are complicated. National defense is rather complicated. Congressional appropriations are complicated. I am not going to pretend otherwise, but Hearing that story made me think about a phrase that every freaking veteran has heard millions of times. Support the troops. It's on bumper stickers, it's on t-shirts, it's on yard signs, it is announced over stadium loudspeakers, and it is repeated by politicians on both sides of the aisle. And I genuinely don't think most people who say it are being insincere. I think they genuinely mean it. But I also think we've allowed that phrase to become so familiar that we've stopped asking what it actually means. What does it mean to support the troops? Is it thanking someone for their service? Sure, that's nice of you. I appreciate it. Is it standing for the national anthem? That's certainly one way people choose to express patriotism. But if that's where our support begins and ends, by thanking our service members for their service and standing for the national anthem, have we really truly supported the troops? Or have we supported the idea of the troops? Because, gotta be honest with you, those are two very different things. Supporting people means making sure they have what they need to do their job safely. It means making sure they come home. It means making sure they're cared for after they come home. It means making sure the promises we make to them don't disappear the moment they sign that DD-214. We often hear people say they support the military, and I believe that a lot of them genuinely mean it. But here's a question that I keep coming back to. Do we support the institution, or do we support the human beings inside it? Because, well, again, those aren't always the same thing. It's hella easy to just wave a flag and oorah every, now and again. It's a lot harder to ensure a 19-year-old has the training and equipment they need. It's hella easy to applaud a veteran at a football game or a baseball game. It's a hell of a lot harder to make sure that same vet can get a mental health appointment 6 months later. It's so easy to say, support the troops. It's a lot harder to ask what those troops actually need. And that's where today's conversation really begins because, well, I am one of those troops. Before we get into the good stuff here, let's take just a second to step into dietheyogawitch.shop. This is where magic meets movement and your growth is supported on and off the mat. This is a space for transformation where yoga and life coaching come together to help you move forward with clarity, confidence, and purpose at a pace your nervous system can actually sustain. Now, alongside your practice, you will find some handmade intention-infused jewelry and some really fun Die the Yoga Witch merch like coffee mugs, t-shirts, hoodies, and so much more. Yes, including some things for our furry familiars, so we can all carry a little bit of magic with us each and every day. Tarot and oracle readings are available when you're seeking insight, and there are a limited number of local services offered to those here in the Puget Sound region. But the heart of this space is supporting your daily practice, your growth, and your connection to yourself. If something in your life is shifting, growing, or just asking for deeper intention, please understand that this is your sign. Come explore what we can create together at dietheyogawitch.shop. If you're enjoying this episode and feel called to become a part of our coven, please feel free to tap that join button and become a channel member. There are some really kick-ass perks waiting for all of the witchlings, with membership levels starting at just $1 a month. How affordable is that? Now, we do understand that times are tough and budgets are tight for everybody worldwide right now. So here's a quick reminder that you can also support our channel here for free by liking this video and subscribing to my channel and then sharing us with a friend. You can also find all of the other ways to support me on my link tree. Go check it out. I appreciate all of you and your support. Thank you, thank you, thank you for tuning in. Now let's get back to that serious conversation. Now let's have that serious conversation here. All right. Don't get me wrong. I genuinely appreciate when someone says thank you for your service. I know I know most people mean it sincerely. I just personally have no idea how to respond to it. I have had strangers buy me coffee. I have gotten military discounts. I have had little kids wave flags at me in parades. Those moments are really kind. They're appreciated. But every time someone thanks me for my service, part of me wants to ask, awesome, thanks, great. Now what? Because gratitude isn't measured by applause. It's measured by what happens after the applause ends. We love veterans when they're symbols. We're not always as enthusiastic about veterans when we're human beings, you know? Now, my story here. I was 17 years old when I joined the Navy. Like a lot of vets, I didn't go into it thinking about disability ratings or VA healthcare or what my body was going to look or feel like decades later. I was honestly thinking about serving, doing something bigger than myself. And I'll be honest, the military gave me a lot. It gave me discipline, confidence, friendships, my kids, experiences I would not have had otherwise. It also took things, some visible, some invisible, and honestly, that's true for a lot of us. Every veteran has a different story because no two of us served the same way, and no two of us came home the same person. And that's why I get so fucking frustrated when people try to put veterans into one neat little box. We're not a monolith. We're women, men, non-binary, straight, queer, parents, students, teachers, mechanics, pastors, witches, Republicans, Democrats, independents, disabled, able-bodied. We are from every race, every religion, no religion. The one single solitary thing that we all have in common is that at some point we raised our right hand and said, I do solemnly swear. Now, when I say the word veteran, what popped into your head? Be honest. For a lot of people, it's an older white guy wearing a ball cap with his branch of service embroidered across the front. And you know what? There is absolutely nothing wrong with that image because he is a veteran. But he isn't the only veteran. Hi, women veterans exist. If you catch my daily divination draw, I have a coin that hangs behind me from the Women Veterans Memorial in D.C. Queer veterans exist. Hi, yet again. Pagan veterans exist. Hi, yet again. Veterans with invisible disabilities exist. Veterans using wheelchairs. Veterans with PTSD. Recovering from military sexual trauma. Veterans who will smile while carrying things you will never, ever see. Sometimes, honestly, when I'm out and about, people will thank my husband for his service while I'm standing right next to him. Here's the funny thing about that one. He's husband number 4, and he's the only one who hasn't served. Sometimes a lot of people assume I'm there as the veteran's wife. Not the veteran, the wife. That's why I'm planning on buying a t-shirt that says I'm the veteran, not the veteran's wife. Because you know what? I laugh about it something. Something. I laugh about that quite frequently. But I gotta be honest, it really says something about who society expects to have served. If we're going to support veterans, we have to start by recognizing all of us. Little personal story here. I was at the VA in Portland, Oregon. I was 18 years old. My dad and I had driven up to the clinic so that we could pick up my birth control pills. I was a smoker at the time, so it was my dad. We were sitting out in the smoke shack having a conversation with a couple of World War II vets. And we'd been sitting there for a hot minute. And I looked at my dad and I'm like, I'm going to go check and see if the pharmacy has my meds ready yet. And he went, okay, see you when you get back. And he told me on the way home that after I left, the other gentleman looked at him and said, we thought you were the veteran. And he's like, oh, I am. But we're here for her today. And that totally changed those two men's attitude towards me when I walked back in. It was kind of amusing. But again, I am not the only woman veteran. Now, here's where I'm probably going to make some people uncomfortable. Supporting veterans isn't a bumper sticker. It isn't posting never forget. It isn't wearing camouflage once a year. It isn't standing for the national anthem while ignoring the people who wore the uniform after they come home. Support looks like making sure veterans can access health care. It looks like mental health services. It looks like addressing veteran homelessness and making education benefits accessible, protecting our earned benefits. It looks like making sure the people working inside the VA have the staffing and resources they need to actually care for veterans. Because here's the thing. The doctors, nurses, therapists, social workers, schedulers, and those people answering the phones at the VA, 99% of them are not the problem. I have met some incredible people through the VA who have quite literally changed my life. People who've listened, who've believed for me, fought for me, and when those people didn't have enough staff, enough funding, or enough time, we veterans feel it. And so do the employees trying to do their absolute best. Here is one of my unpopular opinions. Patriotism is a verb. It's not something you put on your truck or wear on a t-shirt. It is something you do. And if you believe military service matters, then we veterans should matter. If you believe sacrifice matters, then recovery should matter. If you believe freedom matters, then helping people rebuild their lives after service matters. Supporting veterans is not charity. It is keeping a promise. A promise made the day each and every one of us raised our right hand. So here's my challenge to you, my friends. Sorry, Sarge. So here's my challenge, my friends. If you have ever thanked a veteran, first, thank you. Seriously, kindness matters. That would be the person I just kicked. Now, I'd like to ask you one more thing. Take the next step. Volunteer with a veterans organization. Volunteer at your local VA hospital. They're desperate for volunteers. Hire a veteran if you're in a position to do so. Support businesses owned by veterans. Hell, check out my shop. It would help me out. Learn about the challenges veterans face after service. Reintegrating back into civilian culture after you are discharged from the military is a lot harder than many people realize. Advocate for policies that help veterans thrive. And honestly, if you know a veteran, for the love of all things holy, do not assume you know their story. Ask. Listen. Believe them. Because here's a simple truth. Most of us are not looking to be called heroes. We're looking to be treated like human beings. And there's a really big fucking difference there. I love my country. Loving something does not mean pretending it's perfect. It means caring enough to help it do better. So the next time you see a veteran, Go ahead, say thank you for your service if that's what's in your heart. But don't let those words be the end of the conversation. Let them be the beginning. Because supporting the troops shouldn't stop the moment we become veterans. I'm Tate the Yoga Witch, my lovely friends. And this has been this week's Bitchin Witch. Get out there and take care of yourselves. Take care of each other. And maybe this week, ask yourself one simple question. How can I support the people behind the uniform, not just the uniform itself? Until next time, my witchlings, be kind, stay curious, and keep raising a little hell when it matters. Make good trouble. Before I completely go, I have a quick reminder. This space exists solely because of my witchling community. I have no corporate sponsors, just shared magic, mutual care, and a whole lot of love. So please help me out. Do the like, share, subscribe thing. Join my channel if you have the financial means to do so. And please share this channel with a friend. Now let's go out there and spread love, spread joy, spread kindness, because there is already enough darkness, hate, and discontent out there in this world. Let us choose to be steady lights of love and hope and joy for those stumbling in the shadows. Make sure your loved ones in all their forms, 2 legs, 4 legs, wings, fur, scales, paws, and claws, know exactly how much you care about them. Time is not a strict progression of cause to effect. It is far more of a big ball of wibbly-wobbly, timey-wimey stuff that moves faster than any of us realize, and that means those last chances to say I love you one more time are not ever guaranteed. And please, if you take one thing and only one thing away from what I say and do here, please let it be that you always remember this. You are loved, you are wanted, you are needed, and your purpose is real even if you haven't discovered it yet. So, stay informed, stay angry, and stay magical. I love you guys to bits. Namaste, witchlings.